2 months ago, I walked into a nursing home with a heavy heart and a suitcase full of doubts. I was 77, tired and unsure of what the next chapter held. I had lived a full life, raised children, worked hard, and prayed through every season. But nothing prepared me for what I was about to experience inside those walls. I thought it would be the end of freedom. I thought it meant I was giving up. But what I discovered surprised me. It wasn't just about being cared for. It was about learning how to live again. Not everything was easy. There were moments of frustration, of sadness, of longing. But there were also moments that opened my eyes and softened my heart. This video isn't about scaring anyone. It's not about painting nursing homes as terrible or perfect places. It's about sharing what I learned, with honesty and love, so you or someone you love can face this stage of life with strength, clarity, and peace. Maybe you're over 70 and wondering if you'll need extra care soon. Maybe you're a family member helping someone make that choice. Wherever you are in this journey, I invite you to walk with me for the next few minutes, because what I discovered inside that nursing home changed me. And it just might change the way you look at aging too. Why I entered the nursing home. I didn't plan on going to a nursing home. For most of my life, I took pride in being independent. Even after 70, I cooked my meals, did my laundry, paid my bills. But one fall changed everything. It was a cold morning in December. I got up too quickly, lost my balance, and slipped in the kitchen. I fractured my hip and ended up in the hospital. My children were scared. I was scared. And for the first time, I couldn't take care of myself. After surgery and a short stay in rehab, my doctor recommended a nursing home for continued care. At first, I said no. I didn't want to be seen as weak or abandoned, but my daughter looked me in the eyes and said, "Dad, this is temporary. You need help and it's okay to accept it." That moment was humbling. It reminded me that strength doesn't always mean doing everything alone. Sometimes it means allowing others to help you heal. So I agreed. The decision wasn't easy. I cried the night before I moved in. I looked around my house, my favorite chair, the family pictures, my little garden, and wondered if I'd ever feel at home again. But looking back now, I realize that step saved my life. It gave me time to recover, to reflect, and to receive care without guilt. It wasn't about giving up. It was about giving myself a chance. For anyone watching who's in that place, who's afraid of needing help, I want to tell you, it's not weakness, it's wisdom. And you are still worthy of love, care, and dignity, the hidden power of routine and structure. One of the first things I noticed in the nursing home was the structure. Everything had its time. Breakfast at 8, medication at 9, activities at 10, lunch at noon. At first, it felt controlling. I had lived freely for so long that even something simple like a set mealtime felt strange. But as the days passed, something changed. My body adjusted, my mind calmed. I began to sleep better. I wasn't worrying about when to eat, when to take pills, or when to do my exercises. It was all taken care of. And slowly, I realized something. This structure wasn't a prison, it was protection. As we age, our internal clock, the circadian rhythm, can get disrupted. That affects our sleep, appetite, mood, even memory. But when we follow a routine, it helps reset that rhythm. And I began to feel it. Meals became more enjoyable. I felt hungry at the right times. I slept deeper. Even my blood pressure readings stabilized. I'm not saying you need to live in a nursing home to find routine. You can build it at home. Set regular times for waking, eating, moving, resting. Your body will thank you. It doesn't have to be strict, just consistent. A cup of tea at the same time every morning. A short walk before lunch. A quiet moment of prayer before bed. It's not just about discipline, it's about peace. And in a world full of noise and chaos, peace is a gift we all deserve. Loneliness doesn't end, it changes shape. Before I went to the nursing home, I thought loneliness came from being alone. But I learned it's more complex than that. The home, I was surrounded by people, nurses, caregivers, residents. Yet some days I felt lonelier than ever. I missed my family, I missed my routines. I missed being known, but slowly I began to notice something. Everyone there had a story. Some had lost spouses. Others had been forgotten by their children. Some were quiet because of strokes or memory loss. But behind every silence was a human, heart-craving connection. I began talking to the lady who sat by the window every day. I learned her name was Marie, and she used to be a schoolteacher. I shared lunch with a gentleman named Paul who loved to talk about baseball. These little moments didn't erase the loneliness, but they softened it. And I realized, loneliness isn't always about the absence of people. Sometimes it's about the absence of purpose, of feeling seen. When we share our stories, when we truly listen, we reconnect. If you're at home and feeling isolated, I urge you, reach out, call someone, write a letter, share a memory. Let someone know you're still here, still valuable, still full of life. Loneliness may visit us, but we don't have to let it stay. You must learn to advocate for yourself, one of the hardest lessons I learned during my stay was this: no one knows your body, your needs, or your boundaries better than you do. And if you don't speak up for yourself, important things can be missed. There were times I wasn't given my medications on schedule. Once, a nurse forgot I was supposed to be assisted during showers, and I almost slipped. It wasn't out of neglect. They were overworked, managing many patients. But I realized I had to be my own voice. At first, it felt uncomfortable. I didn't want to be seen as demanding. But then I remembered, this is my life, my health. So I began politely but clearly asking questions. Is this my correct dose? Can you check my chart again? Could I speak with the head nurse? And you know what? Most of the staff appreciated it. They didn't mind reminders. In fact, it helped them help me better. By being respectfully vocal, I actually received better care. This applies even if you're not in a nursing home. When you go to a doctor, ask questions. When something feels wrong in your body, say it. Don't let fear or politeness keep you silent. You have the right to understand your health. You have the right to protect your well-being. And the older we get, the more important that becomes. You are not a burden. You are a person with dignity, with wisdom, and with needs that matter. Advocate for yourself with grace but with strength, because your life is worth defending. Small joys matter more than ever in the nursing home. Big things felt far away, traveling, driving, working in my garden. But small things, they became everything. One afternoon, a nurse brought me a slice of warm apple pie. I hadn't had that taste in years. I closed my eyes and remembered my wife baking pies on Sundays. That one bite brought back an entire lifetime. Another day, a young volunteer played the piano in the common room. I sat there with tears in my eyes, not from sadness, but from the beauty of the moment. For a few minutes, I wasn't just a patient, I was a man with a heart that could still be moved. As we age, we often mourn what we've lost: mobility, energy, people. But we must also learn to treasure what remains. A flower blooming on the windowsill, the sound of birds in the morning, a kind word from a caregiver, a prayer whispered in the quiet of night. These moments are not small, they are sacred, and in some ways they are more powerful than the grand achievements of our youth. So if you're watching this, I encourage you, slow down. Notice the gifts that surround you. Taste your food slowly. Hug your grandchildren a little longer. Thank the person who helps you, even if it's their job. Life may change, but joy never disappears. It only hides in smaller places. The happiest people I met in the nursing home weren't the healthiest. They were the most grateful. And gratitude, I learned, is the soil where peace and joy grow. Your life even now is full of blessings. Don't let them go unnoticed. My life after returning home. What changed forever? When I finally returned home after 2 months, I was eager but nervous. Would I be able to live alone again? Would I fall? Would I slip back into old habits? But what I found was surprising. I was stronger, not just physically but mentally and spiritually. I appreciated my home more. I didn't rush through days. I took time to pray longer, to eat slower, to call my children more often. I brought back with me a new structure, set meal times, regular exercise, evening routines. I even wrote out a small list of daily joys: listen to music, water the plants, speak to someone I love. The experience taught me that aging isn't about decline, it's about adaptation. Yes, I need a cane now. Yes, I rest more than I used to, but my heart is full. I also have conversations with my children about my wishes, about care options, about what really matters. That openness brought us closer, and I no longer fear nursing homes. I see them now as bridges, not ends. Bridges to recovery, connection, and renewal. But the key is to enter them with awareness and to leave them with wisdom. So to anyone wondering what life looks like after such a stay, let me say this: you can return stronger. You can come back wiser, and you can live with deeper purpose. Because the most powerful lessons aren't always found in books or sermons. They're found in lived experience, and sometimes they're found in the quiet corners of a nursing home. If you've stayed with me this far, thank you. It means you're someone who values truth, who's open to learning, and who honors the journey of aging. I've shared some hard truths today, but also some hopeful ones. That routine brings peace. That loneliness can be softened by connection. That speaking up for yourself is not rude, it's wise. That joy still lives in small things, and that even a difficult chapter like a nursing home stay can teach you how to live better. I'm 77 years old and I'm still learning, still growing, still loving. If that's not proof that life is sacred at every stage, I don't know what is. I hope my story gives you clarity, comfort, and courage. Whether you're facing decisions about care or simply trying to live with more grace in your own home, know this: you're not alone. Your life matters. Your presence is a blessing, and your future is still unfolding. Please share this video with someone who needs it. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or experiences. And don't forget to subscribe so we can walk this path together. Until next time, may peace be in your heart, strength in your steps, and love in every breath you take. God bless you.